What the reality is, nothing is yours. You came in this world with nothing. You are going to live with nothing. Not even your name. Because when you are born without a name. When you die without one. There are two environments that fear cannot thrive. I would even say that there are two things that fear is always afraid of. The first thing that fear is afraid of is detachment. Fear doesn't like that person who have learned how to detach and not to be attached to material things or to people. The second environment, or the second thing that fear is always afraid of, is presentness. The ability to live here and now, the present moment. I'm going to briefly explain those two aspects. The first one, detachment. When you are not attached to something, you cannot have fear, because it is that which you are attached to that you do not want to lose. If the next village a child dies, it will not hurt you as much as your own biological child dying. Right now, as you are watching this video, there's a family in another country that is burying their loved one. They are in tears, but you are not. Why? Because you are not attached to that person. So when you understand that you can remain unattached to something and to someone and still love them without being strongly attached, then that marks the beginning of the death of fear. Because when you are not attached to someone, it doesn't bother you losing them. When you are not attached to something, it doesn't stress you or bother you losing that thing. So, understanding that nothing actually belongs to you. Because I see so many people who are afraid of losing things and people because they call them theirs. This is my child, this is my friend, this is my spouse, this is my car, this is my business. So I'm afraid of losing this because it is mine. What the reality is, nothing is yours. You came in this world with nothing. You are going to live with nothing. Not even your name. Because when you are born without a name. When you die without one. That's why you hear so many people say that we are going to the mortuary to get the body of so-and-so so that we can bury it. Meaning that the so-and-so is gone. Understanding and embracing that simple reality that nothing belongs to you. Nothing is yours. Nobody belongs to you. Then you will never be afraid of losing someone or losing something. Because coming without anything means that anything that you call yours, anything that you attach yourself to, anything that you identify to be yours, you've gained it along the way. And if you have gained it, then you should not hold on to it. Because you have been given it so that you can just have it for a brief moment. It could be this brief moment that we call life. Because life is just a brief happening. And it's happening to us all. So if you are obsessed with attaching to things and people, holding on to things and people, you are afraid of letting something go, then you always dive in a pool of fear. So don't get too attached to someone. Don't get too attached to something, because by attaching, you will be always afraid to lose that person. Number 2, presentness. When you are able to stay grounded in the present moment, this moment here and now, then you cannot have fear, because in the present moment there's no fear. In the present moment there's no tomorrow. In the present moment there's no past. In the present moment there's no judgment. There's no identity. You just are. So when you embrace remaining and only being in the present moment, then you cannot have fear. Because the reality of life is, all there is the present moment. This is the only moment that there is. What we have is not tomorrow. It is the eternal now. By eternal now, I mean the now that moves through time. Because when we get into the place in time that people call tomorrow, somehow it will not be called tomorrow anymore. It will be called today. So when you are not thinking about the future, when you are not thinking about the past, that means then you are not afraid of something that happened repeating itself, and you're not afraid of something that has not happened happening. Because people are not only suffering what is happening, they are also suffering what happened and what is yet to happen. So if you can be able to embrace staying grounded in the present moment, enjoying what is happening here and now, appreciating and being grateful about what is happening here and now, without thinking about what is going to happen or not happen in the next moment, without regretting about what happened or failed to happen in the so-called past, then you cannot have fear. You cannot be afraid of anything. It is in the present moment that there is no failure. There's no failure because there's no judgment. There's no scale of success and failure in the present moment. So if you want to kill fear, if you want to get rid of fear in your life, first of all, stay grounded in the present moment, here and now, because that is the only moment there is. And second of all, detach from things and people. There are many practices that people embrace, and especially meditation. Because when you meditate, you are able to create a stillness in your mind. You are able to silence your mind. And in that state of stillness, you cannot have fear. Because fear is a product of thoughts. Thinking that you lose someone, or thinking about the future or the past. So if you can be able to kill your mind, to silence your mind, to silence your thoughts, you cannot have fear. That's why I would advise you to try and practice meditation, so that you can get rid of those ingredients of fear that are building up in your thoughts slowly by slowly, day by day. If you want to conquer fear, you can, by not running away from it, but by facing it and experiencing it. Because fear, as I conclude, is a messenger. Fear is a friend. Because when fear builds up in you, it is communicating to you that there is a negative belief system beneath that is working against you. So fear and any other emotion is a messenger. It is bringing into your attention that there is a negative belief system that is working against you. And then, if you try to resist fear, then you have resisted learning the message that the messenger called fear is bringing into your attention. So when you have fear, don't run away from it. Just let it pass through you. Experience it, witness it happening. We'll talk about witnessing in another episode. But don't resist it. Let it happen, but don't get involved in it. Stop thinking about what triggered the fear and just experience the fear itself, because it is just an energy. It is just a form of energy. And it can be as powerful as any other form of energy. Because you come to realize that that even from negative emotions, even from negative energies, you can draw something positive from them. Because as I have told you so many times, it's not about what happens to you. It's about what you decide to do with what happens to you. So something negative can happen in your life, and then you decide to draw a positive lesson from it. Something negative can happen in your life, and then you can decide to turn that situation into a positive situation. So learn how to experience fear without resisting it. Learn how to not attach. Learn how to stay grounded in the present moment. Remember to subscribe.